Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to see how the permissions are managed in Linux systems. Permissions are very important because it allows the user to do or to restrict the user to do some actions in some files. First, let's recall that in Linux system, everything is a file. There is no such thing like directory, like images, like scripts or Word documents, let's say, because in the kernel, in the operating system level, all of those are considered files, and what brings the distinction for them is the application that will open them or will read from them, etc. So let's begin with the permissions in this case. You remember in our last video we created our first script called my first script, and this is the section for permissions, and the first character here, it will represent the file type. Let's create a directory. So you can see for this directory, it's labeled with a D for directory, but for plain text files, we have a dash in this case. And these 9 characters represent the permissions for this file. Let's explain a bit more for this. So I just mentioned we have 9 characters, and these 9 should be divided in 3 groups. So each group will have 3 characters, and what these 3 letters means R, W, and X are read, write, and X for execute. So these permissions are assigned to this file or this script. The first group, which is a set of 3 characters or 3 permissions, the first group belongs to the user or to the file owner who created. The second group belongs to the group that that user belongs to. And the third group represents the world or any other user which is not the owner and which is not part of that group. In this case, the owner is Hugo9995, and the group is called in the same way, Hugo9995, but these groups can be the admin, the finance, the contracts, the security, any other group. So as I mentioned, these letters represent read, write, and execute. And let's see how can we update those permissions. For that, we can use the command chmod. There is 2 ways to update those permissions. One is using octal notation. We will start with that. Okay, how that octal notation is represented in these 3 characters. The first one from the right, in this case the X, its value is 1, W, its value is 2, and for read, the value is 4. If you sum of all of them, it will be 7. We need to remember that for octal notation, it goes from 0 to 7, which means 8 spaces or 8 units. So it's the same for this. So as we already assigned values to those positions, let's change the permissions for the owner in this case. For example, I want to have a write permission and a read, but not to execute. So it means we need the 4 for the R and the 2 for the W, which means 6. But also we need to specify the same for the group. Let's say that anyone that belongs to that group, I want them to write to be able to write in the file. So write means 2. I am going to assign only 2. And for the rest of the world, I don't want them to have any permission, so I'm going to set for 0. Then specify the file that I want to change the permissions and hit enter. Let's see. As we wanted, we had to set these permissions read and write, but not execute, which is 6. And same for the group, but we want only for write permissions, which is 2, and these 3 dashes means 0. So no one that are not the owner or the group can do anything to this group. Sorry, to this file. This is one way to change this. Let's revert back the changes. 7 means everything because this is 4, 2, and 1. We want everything for the user. We want a 5 for the group, which means read and execute, and we want also a 5 to the other or rest of the world, which means as well read and execute. I'm going to hit enter and let's see, we have the permissions back. Okay, the second way to change those permissions is with the same command, but specifying, let's say I want to remove the permissions for the rest of the world, means O. Then I want to remove R and X for my script. I just hit enter and let's see. The owner remains the same as well as the group, but for the rest of the world, the permissions had changed to 0. Let's update the user. I'm going to remove execution as well, and I'm going to add write for the group in my script. Sorry, I added a space here, just without space to let the system know what I want. So for the user or for the owner, I'm going to remove execute, and for the group, I'm going to add write permissions. You can see execution was removed and W was added to the group section. Okay, this is all for this video. I hope you like it, and please subscribe to the channel to receive more notifications about new videos about Bash, Linux, DevOps, and more cool stuff. Thanks.